historical thing about how U.S. First Lady system evolved. And that has been there. In our instance, First Lady, people have the issue about giving allowance to First Lady is not new, especially in this republic, Fourth Republic. It started rolling this time. Allowances given to all former First Ladies. And they continue to enjoy that, but in the form of allowances. But now, and that, in fact, the 2001 that was done by Rolex, if you listen to what, if you read what Nana Atudazi issued, was actually...
The former chief of staff.
Former chief of staff, right. The Rolex, was actually approved in 2000. That was the second parliament.
Right.
Of the Fourth Republic was actually approved, the allowance, by the same parliament.
Right.
And it went on up to Kufuor's time and up to now, the allowances.
Right.
Now, this committee, the new committee set up by President Akufo-Addo, recommended that instead of making it an ad hoc thing, we should institutionalize it and make it like salary.
A fixed salary.
Yes. For them.
Right.
We take care of them anyway. We pay their allowances, their medical bills, we do all that. So why not quantify all that into salary? So that was the recommendation they made. And I'm not sure that they made that recommendation based on Article 71. They only saw it that instead of us doing this in an ad hoc manner, why don't we institutionalize it? And
the frame of reference for the committee was very clear. It says that and any other matters
exactly.
associated
Any other matter.
Article 71 office holder specifications. So there is a reason for
there
this.
Exactly. So in their own thinking, they thought that, look, let's make this, formalize it, and give them salary. And mind you, when a sitting president or a present president is getting salary, the former president gets, if there's increment, also gets the increment.
Right.
And it's been like that.
Right.
So their recommendation is that if you make it a fixed salary for the current first lady, second lady, the previous ones will also get the same.
Right.
It will also be salary given to them. And so people are talking as if this is something just for the current first lady and second lady that this committee is giving to them.
Right.
Not knowing that, or not in their minds that this is something that has been there, has been practiced, but they are talking of institutionalizing it and make sure that as long as the current first and second ladies enjoy it, the previous first and second ladies, former, will also enjoy same.
Right.
So it is something that they recommended. And Parliament, again, approved that recommendation, just like they did in 2000.
Right.
When it was allowance. So you approve this, and later now the thing has come up, and the same party, NDC, has issued a statement, saying the youth wing, I saw a statement condemning it.
Yeah, that's the NDC youth wing. They're entitled to do that.
Yes, they are entitled. I don't disagree with them. I don't disagree with them issuing what they
being allowed to issue
what they. But I'm saying that, look, did they consult their leadership in Parliament?
Right.
Today.
Okay.
Because the leadership in Parliament, and not just the leadership, they are part of the House, part of their side of the House, supported the thing. They helped in approving this recommendation. And if they say that they are not in disagreement, do they actually, I was expecting that they would have condemned even their part for approving the recommendation in their statement.
Right.
Now they are talking of challenging
it's going to court. It's going
the Supreme Court.
More than two groups are taking it to
no
the
problem.
Supreme Court.
If they are going to, I don't know. As I said, was it based on Article 71? This recommendation?
Right, probably, because that's the only place they can go.
If it is based on Article 71, that may not properly be the situation. As Professor Kwesi suggesting that there should be a bill to introduce this kind of thing.
That was his suggestion, not to disagree with it, but to simply say that they should formalize it and ratification would require an actual bill.
Yes,
to be
that's what he suggested.
Yes.
That's what he suggested. But I'm saying that this may not necessarily be under Article 71. It's just a part of any other matter that they feel fit.
Yes,
they should recommend.
But having agreed it would still have to be a bill that comes before Parliament. You can't just, we agreed what the committee recommended, so therefore somehow we're going to find this money. I mean,
but that is not a fund. The recommendation, as I say, if you recommend something, that so means that you have done it. Somebody will have to approve the recommendation.
Right.
And Parliament has approved it.
No problem.
And it's not even implemented. Is it implemented?
No problem. So, go on. I still ask
I'm
you
saying
the
that,
same
look,
question. What are you saying exactly?
So I am saying that, look, this is something that we need to look into and say that, look, do we actually need to do this? In the first place, the former first ladies and current first ladies and all that, we are taking care of them in one way or the other anyway.
So so should they get salaries or not?
I think that they should. I think that they should.
Right.
And the reason why I said it's a global debate, I was going to, if my colleagues come, I'll come to the U.S. specific instance, where a former first lady, sometimes they leave, once they become first lady, sometimes they leave their jobs, the original jobs, and do partially behave like they are also presidents. They do the same job, they are engaged with public and all that.
Okay.
And therefore, they perform functions that are so national on behalf of the state, are so national that you need to even create an office for them to perform those functions.
Okay.
And I say that in giving them not comfortable.
That's comfortable. You just say it.
Enabling them to perform those functions is very important. And therefore, giving them some amount of money to perform those functions and all that should be in tune. Especially when some of them, I said so, they should. Especially when they sometimes leave their work, what they do to do same. And let's end by quoting
finished.
in 1982 what Ronald Reagan
your time is up.
said about first lady.
Your time is up.
Okay, I'll come back.
Quote your quote.
Okay. Now, Reagan, when he was interviewed in 1982, he said, you have the first lady, the government gets an employee for free. They have just as busy as they have me. The Americans have a first lady who is as busy as they have, and therefore, even though the first ladies of U.S. do not have salaries for themselves, their cost of accommodation when they travel, their transportation, their staff are paid by the state. All is quantified into something. Do we call it emoluments? Do we call it salaries? How do we term it? Even though specifically they say they don't have salaries. Michelle Obama had to leave her job at this in $12,000 salary to be a first lady. She wasn't working.
So
she became a first lady.
So what?
I am saying that, but looking at what President Reagan has said, they perform functions just as.
And President Reagan is what? He's the Bible?
It's not the Bible.
Okay. Enough. Let's move on.
It's not the Bible, but I'm talking of first. I said it's a global debate about first ladies.
Right, fine. But
it's a global
you support the idea of putting them on salary, yes?
I just answered that, Kudu. Okay, and I was explaining why they need the salary.
Because of Ronald Reagan and Michelle
this thing
Obama.
About
understood. What do you have to say? You want to interrupt? Yes.
Okay. So what we have is that we have information that some two minority members of parliament, their names we are not mentioning now, and a Ghanaian citizen have proceeded to the Supreme Court, invoking the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, and they are actually asking for 8 reliefs. It has everything to do with the case involving the salaries of the first ladies and the second ladies of the Republic of Ghana. And so among others, they are saying that they want a declaration that upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 71(1) of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, the Professor Ntiamoa Baidu Committee, appointed by the President of the Republic of Ghana under Article 71(1), only had jurisdiction to make recommendation in respect of salaries, allowances, payable facilities, and privileges of Article 71 office holders under the 1992 Constitution. Again, they are asking for a further declaration that upon the true and proper interpretation of the Article 71(1) of the 1992 Constitution, the Professor Ntiamoa Baidu Committee had no jurisdiction or mandate or authority to make any recommendation in respect of salaries, allowances, payable facilities, and privileges of persons other than persons specified under Article 71 of the 1992 Constitution. Again, they are seeking an order restraining the President of the Republic of Ghana or any other arm of government, ministry, department, or agency of the executive from implementing any recommendation of Professor Ntia Moabedu's committee which pertains to the first and second ladies of the Republic of Ghana. So that's the information that we are picking. They are currently at the Supreme Court filing this suit at the Apex Court, and we'll be bringing further and better details on it as and when this suit is formally filed.
No, but I think you need to mention those involved because it's a public issue that is there. So the people going to court, it's a document, so you mentioned their names.
They are filing. They haven't filed.
No, but
yes. So
we should know those who are going and have withdrawn. We should know them.
You should mention the information that we have is such that they are filing. Okay. And so when they file, we know the names. I have the names here. But when they file, there are 2 members of parliament from the opposition side and a Ghanaian citizen. Right. Maybe the Ghanaian citizen, we can mention his name. His name is Kome. That's the Ghanaian citizen.
Kome what?
I will leave it at Kome for now.
Oh, you people. That's why Peter the other day, Peter said somebody would have said it's a lie. I know he was referring to me.
We still got a program to run.
Yes.
If you don't mind. You've heard what the Wilberforce said. I'm trying to injunct for the moment the movement of this particular transaction. It's interesting.
It's good for constitutional democracy.
But they're going against their own parliament in this matter because parliament has approved something. And one would hope that they would have trusted Parliament in this particular matter. But asking for an interpretation from the Supreme Court is also not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But again, one of the things one might have a problem with is their argument that the Commission did not have the authority to come up with these recommendations. I would recommend that they read the second paragraph of the instructions to the committee very clearly, at the very latter part of what the scope of work was.
But Kojo, it was a recommendation they made, and the president decided to brief some legal life into it by referring it to Parliament, and it was approved.
Okay.
I know the argument will be that they are not Article 71 office holders.
Right. So that is the argument.
That is the argument.
Right. Anyway.
But then again,
it's a recommendation only. We're trying to get to the phone lines very quickly and join George Opariado, the National Youth Organizer of the NDC, and find out what is the NDC's thinking from the youth perspective as the National Youth Organizer. We mentioned them before, and they may be part of this whole proceeding. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
God has been faithful.
Excellent. Mr. Opariado, what is the position of the National Youth Organization of the NDC with regard to this whole issue around the emoluments to salaries for first ladies and second ladies?
Let me say good morning to your English listeners. Let me say that the youth wing were that are called by the professor and the spouses of the president, that of the vice president, to the list of Article 71 of the Code. Our difficulty is in the fact that Article 71 looks up. There is no ambiguity in the wording of Article 71. Article 71 is just people who Article 71 who qualifies on Article 71. It did not make mention of the spouses of the president, neither did it make mention of the spouse of the vice president.
Right.
So we find it a bit unfair that the commission have given a sense of reference to include those two. Article 108 of our Constitution makes it clear on how one can burden the consolidated fund. That is, if you want to withdraw money from the consolidated fund, what procedure we need to take? So Mr. President thinks that at this time, we need to formalize the payment of salaries that are not to spouses of that office. Then the proper thing to do is to lay a bill before Parliament, get Parliament to debate it. When Parliament debates it, it's just the people of Ghana debating it. Then a bill is properly passed.
Right.
And then we can burden the taxpayer the paying of salary.
Right.
Then we will also satisfy the 178 through that appropriation bill and how we can go about the person's response. The terms of reference, I believe Professor Yang the chairman today exceeded terms of reference. If she did not, then the president did not have power to include that of the spouses. And
Okay.
what Article 2 want us to do is, if we think, if any Ghanaian citizen thinks that any law has been found by agreement or any act has been committed or an omission has been committed that is inconsistent with the Constitution, then you can invoke the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to declare such an act as a void. That is exactly what we intend to do.
Okay.
On the Supreme Court.
Yeah, Mr. Apariado, I mean, I need for you to comment, please, if you will, on the fact that Parliament has approved this, and I'm sure there's a few lawyers in Parliament as well, and also comment, if you don't mind, on whether or not it is the case that is it that you are opposing the idea of payment of salaries, or you just want it to be done right?
Okay. Every year when the budget is passed, an allocation is made to the office of the First Lady and the Second Lady. I have no difficulties with it. They also pay them allowance. What we need to understand is what the Committee for the Holiness basically do is to review what has been known in our local parliament. I don't think that the First Lady and the Second Lady should be paid as gratia as well. Also, if we want to pay the salary, we are giving them allowances at home. But if we want to pay them salary, then a few things will have to be done in the public. One, they must have a terms of engagement, just like a job at the so they are giving you a appointment letter, they're giving you a job description. When you are given the job of President of the Republic of Ghana, the Constitution mandates you and gives you a job description. What is the job description for the place? What are their terms of engagement? What are their job specifications? All these things are absent. The things are in the issue of the freedom sexually did not. They did not even take public to care of. The things are just things of it. What happens if we have a Muslim president who has 4 wives? Legal. Who do we take? So we need to spell out clearly what the terms of engagement is going to be, so that that office will be more accountable to the people of this country.
Okay.
And if my taxes are being used to pay, then I must be able to scrutinize what they're doing and why they are doing it.
Okay.
And until it is done properly, and under no circumstances can we pay an Article 71. So like I said, Article 71 is exactly enough, and there is no ambiguity in the way that's one.
Okay. George, the latter part, the first part of what I said, though. So you're not really against the idea, but it's really about getting the everything done right and properly. But the fact that Parliament has already approved this, do you have a problem at all with that? And are you saying that Parliament was mistaken?
That is why Article 2 of the Constitution comes to play. Because Article 2 the anticipates that the day will come when Parliament makes laws that will not fit well with the system. But somebody wants to make another indirect convention about the Constitution. What Parliament has done is slap in the face of Article 2 because they are not qualified to that Article 2. But let me put it on record that on the day the bill was laid before Parliament, the day the Constitution was laid before Parliament, the minority then, led by the minority to allowed the Honorable Mutaka and people objected to the inclusion of the two.
Right.
That is the spouses, president, and the vice president.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there was a voice vote in the majority area. We learned also start. Then, another parliament, they typically had 105 minutes of parliament, 106 minutes of parliament. So, we could not have overturned it. But the opposition there objected to the inclusion of those two aspects of the region.
Right. Okay. So you're quite clear on all of these points that you just want a clarification and it should be done properly. We want to thank you. I would like to talk to you some more, but the line isn't too good, so we're going to have to leave it here. But thank you very much for your comments and for the explanation. Thank you so much. That's the NDC Youth or National Youth Organizer in the person of George Apariado. Apologies for the poor quality of the line. We'll probably try and talk to him again about this and get him. Gentlemen, you heard, you could get a sense of what's going on here. They're not so much against it because, like you said, the allocation of funds to the First Lady's offices is done anyway, and it's not unusual. But that he's got a challenge with, there's got to be a job description, there's got to be a clear scope of work. The person must, and he's challenged by, okay, what if the person's a Muslim and has got 4 wives? Are we paying salaries to all the 4 wives? And in fact, would the workload be that great? And things like that. These are all legitimate questions.
1 wife.
Pardon?
There is. If he had read Nana Tudazi's statement, he realized that in Achampong,
yes, but
the
that
second
was
wife
allowances.
I'm coming. Yes.
Now we're talking about the salaries.
Don't worry, Kojo, there are no companies who pay allowances more than salaries. Allowances are even higher than salaries.
Only where you come from. So in the real world, allowances are small amounts.
No. In this country, in Ghana.
Yeah, but that is you talking about the way you come from.
No, I want to put it in perspective.
In the real world, they don't do that.
No, but this Ghana is part of the world, and we do things in Ghana.
We do things differently.
Other people don't.
Okay.
I am saying that maybe it's a salary, and I say that there are companies in this country who pay allowances far higher than salaries, and therefore maybe it's the use of the salary. So we may continue to pay the allowances.
I think if this is the challenge.
No, it's good. I know what they are doing. Look, I totally support what they are doing. It's a constitutional matter, and we need to test this. That's the way to build our democracy and constitutional institutions. And it's good. This thing they have taken is good, so that we'll test it. But I'm saying that, look, a recommendation was made. It was not a Bible, a verse in the Bible or the Quran. It was a suggestion that was made, and it was approved by Parliament. He's now telling us that the chief whip then opposed it. We need to go back to Hansard and look at it, whether he opposed it or not. But I have no problem. What else I'm saying that salary, maybe it's the use of the word salary.
Yes.
Is problematic because salary is actually different from allowance.
It must be
yes,
it must
allowance.
be negotiated, public accounts, it's the whole thing.
But if he talks about a letter of appointment and all that, maybe we should issue a letter say we're appointing somebody as a first lady.
Well, if it's a job, I'm sorry to say, but these are the kind of things that have to be argued. So obviously, it doesn't make any sense to do that. But there's got to be some rational.
Or you issue a letter. You give a letter that this is a office. This is a first lady's office. These are the functions. These are the look. Nana has said it brilliantly this morning. How former first ladies, the functions they have performed unofficially in this country that have benefited the state.
Right.
We have seen it. So I am saying that how do we facilitate the job that
they've been doing it, and we've been facilitating anyway.
Yes,
you now want to make it a salaried job, and that's why it's become
yes, I agree with you. So do we continue to use the word allowance? And I've argued that there are some allowances that are higher than salaries in this country.
Yeah, but that's this
so
country.
Let's probably keep it at the level of allowance and make it look like salaries.
All right, but you can. So we agree that it's worth challenging at the level.
Oh yes. All right, but I also agree with the bill that he talked about. If you look at Article 108, it shows how if you want to use take money from consolidated fund the way it should be done. It's actually captured in Article 108,
which he refers to.
And I totally agree with him on that. But I am saying that we need to facilitate the work of former first ladies. Current first ladies.
Excuse me. Tell me, what work are we facilitating of a former first lady?
If you are a first lady, no.
Former first lady. I'm being very clear. What work does a former first lady do that would require a salary?
A former first lady should have an office.
That's when like saying I'm a former member of parliament, so I need a salary when I stop being a member of parliament.
No, Kojo. You are bringing it to the level that you should not.
What level?
If you're a former first lady, I'm not saying Mrs. Lordina Mahama today.
Right.
Can go and stand somewhere and say that I want a job to do, a job to do. Look, and she was actually doing some work, humanitarian jobs and all that. And I'm saying that, and in many jurisdictions, they still have people, they have offices that are established for them.
Stop that. In many jurisdictions, the guys ride bicycles to Parliament.
Thank you.
What is this? You wouldn't keep on
Kojo,
comparing.
if you people talk about bicycles, somebody lives
I'm
in
not
an urban area where he doesn't
Boss,
have this thing.
I'm not talking about anything.
You people are quick to say that people ride bicycles to
No,
Parliament.
we're not quick. When you say...
Can you ride bicycle from Lambuse to Accra's Parliament? Can you?
Mr. Mahama, calm down. England is as big as Ghana. The people up north, they still come down to London to transact business in Parliament.
My goodness.
All I'm saying is, when you keep on doing this in other jurisdictions, which jurisdiction?
You mentioned England.
No,
that people ride
because you
bicycles.
said in other jurisdictions.
Yes.
So which jurisdictions
I
work
just
for you and
mentioned-
which ones don't work
Well,
for you?
I mentioned America that even even though they are not giving salaries and all that, they are first ladies in other African
Does that one
countries,
work for you?
Nigeria, Uganda, and all these countries. They are taking care of their first ladies and former
Final
first
comment.
ladies.
I am not against the salaries at all. Already they
We
are.
should make it allowances.
Please.
Make
Already
it make
they
it
are
look like
performing some
salaries.
functions on behalf of the state, and I'm not surprised. As we speak, we have an association of first ladies. I mean, they normally have conferences.
Former first ladies or first ladies,
First
Karen,
ladies,
yes.
and
In
they
Africa,
have conferences,
Africa.
they champion some SDG goals, and so they should be encouraged to do that. I think that by even institutionalizing this, giving some legal backing, will make them more accountable to the people of this country. I'm also happy that George Opariado is not against it, but I think that things should be done properly so that in the near future there will not be any backlash. But the danger is, in our constitution, in the absence of the president and the vice president, either the CG or the speaker, they are
Kwesi Prempeh's argument. He argued
so
on that.
if tomorrow people also start putting forward that argument, that so what about them? So we
Yes.
should look at this thing holistically so that we will not shoot ourselves.
Right.
Professor Prempeh actually included
Okay.
that in his
Elvis.
argument.
Yes. Well, pay attention.
Pay attention.
So what are we talking
He knows
about?
what he wants to say already. So.
It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. Or
No,
that's
he
it.
has. He knows
Say
what he
you wanna
wants to say on this matter already. So.
Yeah.
A first gentleman or the first lady should be purely a privileged thing.
My goodness.
We will pay for your security that is guarding you. We will pay for all the things that we still want to give you allowance. Me, I will say that if the woman is the president, I am the husband, I will be happy to be carrying the bag free and following her wherever she goes.
Right. Wait for it to
Because that is a privilege to say that the whole Ghana, the man in charge or the woman in charge, this is the partner. That is a big privilege that everybody wishes that you can be there. So how does giving money, I don't know what it adds to it. The biggest thing is that you are the wife or husband, the man who is the commander-in-chief of the whole Ghana and the armed forces and everything. It is such a privilege that I don't see any amount of money giving you being relevant. I really think that, see, we should, as a people, begin to look at things more from the position of relevance and privilege than attaching money to everything that we do. I really don't. I don't know what that amount of money even
In
adds to
essence,
that
so- in
position.
essence.
Right.
So for me,
don't you think
essence-
the first lady or the second lady actually perform a very specific function?
stated way.
No.
Way.
Don't. I'm asking whether you don't think they perform a specific
That's
function.
why I don't.
Not stated way.
I
just
see
your
them
own,
perform
as a citizen.
functions around.
As a
okay?
citizen, you don't see that they
As
have
what?
a function.
As what?
As you don't think that they have any function. I'm asking you a question.
And I'm saying stated way. When they want to invest
didn't
the
say
president,
stated anyway.
when we want to appoint a minister, want to appoint people, we know we give the reason we have to them what they are supposed to be doing. Right.
So you
But-
don't see that
but
they
the
have
office
any
of the
function.
first lady, have we stated what we expect the office of first lady to be
I'm
doing
asking,
as a
don't
country?
you see that they have anything to do?
That's what I'm saying. That see, it's privilege. What they are
so
doing.
they-
Because see,
It's a decorative
the
role.
problem we are seeing is
Even the ones that
Purely
constitution has
decorative
and
ornamental.
disagreed to.
the one that I've
Purely
seen
decorative and
from
ornamental.
Nana Konedo's time till now, what I
Okay.
see is rather that
The privilege
they
of being
form a
ornamental.
foundation and raise funds to support the work they do. If they can set up foundations, raise funds to carry out their activities on their own,
In other words, they should hawk their title.
why then do we have to things that we have to allocate.
Okay. So when I
Here,
decide,
Nana asked question.
But Elvis, already we spend some resources on them, especially their offices. You talk about
First Lady's office, yes, and those
so-
things they exist already.
And that is something that you
Why
have to
don't
question.
we-
Ask George Parado is saying which part of the law permits that we allocate resources to that office. That is because they are in the
it has
question
become
of
a
law.
convention. So
Which
you
part
see,
of the law
he should have
permits
asked him.
allocation of
You
resources?
see, he should
Because
have asked
public
him
resources are
when the NDC was
allocated
in
to
power.
Public institutions to carry out
Sometimes-
public functions.
sometimes-
Okay, public resources are allocated to public institutions to carry out public functions. That's why the budget is there. So me, I am even surprised. I'm getting to know that even there's allocation to the office of the first lady and first lady. This is the first I'm getting to know.
Oh.
I've not really paid attention to it because I see it as a privilege more than anything.
This guy.
So for me, whether it's a man that is the partner or the woman is the partner,
All is privilege.
make it a privileged position. Enjoy it as a privilege. And not about salary or
Well,
allowance.
but salaries are part of privileges.
Allowance or salary is, to me, is needless. They take pride in the fact that you are that pride
Okay.
that we look at.
No, okay.
I can do this around.
That you-
Okay, enough.
You are
Let's
the
move
first
on.
lady or you are the
Let's-
first man.
Let's move
That's
on.
I carry my wife back around all the time. If my
let's
wife
move-
happens to be president of Ghana, then I'll be happy.
Let's move on.
I'll be so happy to be carrying. And me, I won't do anything. I just only follow her.
The next time,
Carry her back. I won't follow
then let's please advise all of the institutions around, all of the organizations. Please don't go to the First Lady and ask them to come and use their name to support your institution, because according to Elvis, they have nothing to do except be carrying their handbags around and looking pretty. So basically, you institutions, and when the next time there's an AIDS campaign in Africa, let's just dismantle the office of the First Ladies of Africa, because it's not going to do any work, and they don't do any work. In fact, they do nothing at all. And
I have not said that.
we're running out of time. We just got a minute, and I've just got to go to one final subject, which I have to talk about very quickly. Before the Ejura committee yesterday, a soldier was asked a few questions, and his responses left something to be desired. We did not shoot to kill; we were shooting to maim only. And had we decided to go all out, there would have been a lot of dead bodies. I mean, I'm sorry. Is that the way that a soldier should be talking when asked questions where two people have died?
Yes.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, that is how a soldier will talk. Because a soldier is a combatant, and a soldier is trained for combat.
So,
That is
school,
why-
Omo and Kobe.
It's not just school. See, when are you told that when soldiers go to train, they go and learn the Public Order Act in school, in their training school? They don't go and learn Public Order Act in their training school. It's the police who learn that because they need it. A soldier does not go to school to go and learn the Public Order Act or how civil laws work. They have their own things and how they are trained for to do. So me, I'm not surprised that the soldier spoke that way.
Well, you're not surprised that an officer, I'm not talking about
Yes.
a corporal or a lance corporal.
But
or
he's
something.
training them.
I am telling you that for the armed forces, by their nature, by their training, by everything that they are supposed to do, if it speaks like that, it tells you the mentality and the kind of system they operate.
Okay.
I'm not defending what he said is right. But I'm saying that it just shows that if a senior officer at that level is speaking to you that way, it tells you that this is how we do our job. So if we involve us in public disorder, we are going to apply the same way that we do our work.
Okay.
And that should say a signal to us as a country to know that it is very dangerous and risky to involve these military people in public disorder or civil things that have to do with civil strife. Okay. It is a big message to us as a country. This is a senior officer, as you said, but he's telling us that for us, this is what we have been trained to do, and this is how we do our things.
Okay.
So
All
don't
right.
expect them to behave otherwise. That is what he's telling us.
Okay.
So
You're okay with what he said?
Oh yes, I mean all is that we should just follow the lay down protocols when it comes to civil strife and use the police
So
more.
you're okay with what he said?
That
We're lucky. If we had gone all out, we'd have killed more people. And then we shot to maim.
Because if they think that there was a threat on this country.
What? There was no threat in Ijra on this country.
Listen. From the account.
What account?
Some people also shoot from the crowd. There was some shooting from the crowd.
And
so they will reply in equal force.
Okay.
They will respond in equal
force.
Yes,
to a crowd of
that is what they would do. This is the military. That is why I'm saying that. Listen, there was a breach of protocol in the first place. Right. And I was happy that the district commander
accepted his responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
So it's the format and how you escalate issues.
Absolutely.
You don't just call out the soldiers at the beginning of the
And you heard when the police commissioner was asked, did you go with tear gas? You said you had intelligence on 28th, and something happened on the 29th. And he said he didn't go with tear gas.
Okay.
That's the police commissioner telling
you.
Somebody who said that
you have the
RDF are
RDF
going to cause riots.
Right.
And you go and you don't have a tear gas.
Okay.
And you call in the military. What do you want them to come and do?
All right. So anyway, these are questions that we've asked already about me. I have a formed police unit in Accra. Absolutely. Throw them onto a helicopter and drop them there, and let's see what happens next.
The RDF.
Rapid response deployment and everybody else. Go on.
Kojo, we have no business deploying military to Ejura in that instance. We have no business doing it because the police, what I saw, could have handled that.
Yes, but you're the same people who are okay. No. Let me finish. As a journalist, every day you see soldiers at football stadia. What business do they have there? You don't comment on it. You don't make it unusual so that people will say, let's move the military away from here. You don't comment. And now you're saying we don't have any business sending soldiers.
I have said that I will support military intervening in such matters when it's of all-out war or shooting.
So you're okay with soldiers being at various polling stations during the election?
No. Soldiers were not at polling stations, Kojo.
Did any journalist talk about it?
Soldiers were not at polling stations, Kojo.
Okay.
This propaganda.
All right.
Soldiers actually went to the collation center when there was some instances there were shootings.
All right, no problem.
That's what we should make clear.
No
Kojo, but the soldier, even the meme, I disagree. Kojo, why would you go and shoot and maim somebody, say that you are
only shots
I'm not sure he said that. If he said that, Kojo, maim, wound, injure somebody,
yes,
as that part of the body is permanently damaged.
Permanently damaged, yes.
Is that what they said they wanted to do?
I'm telling you what was in the papers.
I don't think he said that.
The word was used ill-advised.
Maim.
If he use a meme, then I'm sorry.
Said. Okay, General Officer Commanding, Central
why?
Command.
You wanted to maim.
And
this is what he said.
This one didn't say that too.
He said, "Return fire for fire."
Yes.
I just said, "No,
fire for fire, no, they are different." And I said that when there's fire for fire, I support military intervention. That one I said it.
Let me ask you a question.
But if there's no fire for fire,
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If the military had not been there, would there have been fire for fire?
I don't think so.
Do you think if the police had been standing there, that anybody would have been shooting?
I don't think so. That's why I said that the deployment of the military to that place was needless. That's what I said.
But in that case, when the police were, have they retrieved any shell, empty shell of any so-called shooting from pump action gun? They said they've not retrieved none, any. So then what is the basis of the claim that there was a gunshot
no
from
ballistic
the
unit
because
at
the
the
General
police?
Officer Commanding says that there was fire. So the fire for fire. But we shot to maim. And
why do you shoot to permanently damage
I don't even
somebody?
understand why they would even make that statement. It's totally untrue.
I know that.
different mentality,
I know.
different approach.
Elvis, please. We got you. This different approach is not true. Okay? Let me disabuse you today.
Yes.
That statement that you're making, that the military approach, the approach is just to go and shoot it. It's not true.
I didn't say this.
No.
I didn't say it's to go and shoot.
I am categorically.
I said they are combatants.
Yeah,
they
I
have a
understand
different standard operating procedure
Elvis.
from the police.
Mr. Elvis.
And they don't learn the law the police learn in their
Mr.
training
Elvis.
school. They are two different institutions.
I'm going to disabuse you of this thing where we say that when you get soldiers, they will only shoot and they don't know anything else. They know how to restrain themselves. They're trained to restrain themselves. And they go to any engagement with specific rules of engagement.
In this country?
Yes.
In what event?
Because most of these boys have been on peacekeeping.
And what
So I
event?
can guarantee you that this general officer commanding,
which event?
he's been on at least 3 peacekeeping missions.
And
he knows how
this
he's
is what
gone
they
there.
do, and you are challenging him.
If they had gone
He said
anywhere,
that is what they do.
I am telling you.
The man who is in charge, this is what we do, and you are saying you are challenging him.
Yes, I'm
You are
telling
not
you.
there.
Okay, I'm going to say we're
The
short
man
to
who
meet.
is what we will do.
We're short to meet.
I've
You
seen-
can be talking about British Army
No,
or the
I'm
North
talking
Ghana
about Ghanaian
Army.
soldiers
No.
in peacekeeping.
Ghana Army, the boss said this is what
My
we
guy,
do.
Stop.
Take it from him.
Stop. Stop. I'm telling you,
Take it from him, Kojo. He is the man in charge.
you take it from me.
No.
That this
I'll take it
gentleman.
from him because he's the man in charge. You are not the man in charge.
All I'm saying is that this statement he's making,
Like our MPs.
what I'm trying to say right now for you, so that we're clear, this gentleman would never dare to stand anywhere commanding UN troops, Ghanaian soldiers wearing a blue beret, and make the same statement he just made here. He would not dare to do it.
UN
So
troops.
the-
You say where?
Oh,
You said
Ghanaian
what?
troops wearing a blue beret.
No, you say UN
I'm going to
troops.
finish
Did you
what I'm
listen
saying
to
so you
him?
understand. The point
The
I'm trying.
Ghana representative position at the UN is different from Ghana Army standard president position.
You don't have a problem with
What
that.
I
You don't have a
And you
problem
don't
with
have a
that.
problem with
But
what
the
he
man
just
said
said.
this is what we do, and I told that this is the mentality.
No, no,
He said, you
we
are
gotta
talking about
go,
ideal,
because this
and
can-
the man
It's
is
not
talking
an
about
ideal.
the situation on the ground.
What
You are
situation
talking
is
about
that?
what should be the situation.
Boss.
What is the ideal? His
Boss,
is the reality.
Boss, Ghanaian soldiers have dealt with far worse than Idra. Far worse.
It was unfortunate.
What, in South Sudan,
Very
in Liberia,
unfortunate.
in
We are
Syria?
talking about internal matters.
encourage-
In Haiti.
Is it not
You-
soldiers?
You are talking about internal matters. You are going to
In
Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Kojo, I think the focus should be
You
Internal
don't,
matters,
yes.
not
on the protocols.
It's fine. Your final comment from Nanea, please.
You see what I mean about selective perspectives on things and moving goalposts and bias and personal animus against certain groups of people and such like. I love Elvis's line of argument. You know, when
was just
the point at which one decides that this is a formal duty, so. It's all right for the Ghana Armed Forces to make up their own terms of engagement with members of the public, or, you know, inside the boundaries of Ghana. They may choose to act quite differently overseas. And where something is such a matter of public, spiritedness, one will choose to stand by one's husband's bedside even when he's asleep, carrying his man bag, because it is such a privilege to serve. I don't know what to say by way of qualification of this particular business with the terms of engagement of the military in Idra. It is deeply problematic, and my main worry is not so much even the objectionableness of the evidence that is going to emerge through the hearings of this committee in its own right, but the almost certain dread that the committee is not going to be able to reach a conclusion. There is going to have to be some further stage of engagement with the events of Idra in order to arrive at some kind of way of operating for the army in situations of civilian dispute that are not contentious, on which everybody is in agreement.
Okay. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Elvis disagrees with me. All I was trying to get across, and I'm going to say it again, is that we have seen the Ghana Armed Forces behave in a far more decorous way than they did in Idra, with far more provocation than they ever sustained.
That one was overseas. It doesn't apply.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. And I'm just concerned. We're just concerned. We're just concerned.
He says it's overseas.
We're just concerned about the standards and what we expect from our military here in Ghana. Not to say that they behaved badly or behaved well, but simply to say what should we expect. That's all. With that in mind, thanks to all of our comments today. Uzondu Esunye, Shabo Uzondu again still arguing about about international and local standards. No, standards are standards, as somebody is saying. So anyway, that all not having been agreed, we came out of this whole discussion with not one agreement on anything. And that's pretty much how it's always been. So on that note, we're going to say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye from me. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.